Have you ever wondered how people can draw eyes so realistically? Well, today I will be demonstrating some cool tips and tricks I've learned throughout the years that might help others who are starting out as beginners. Basically, I have been enhancing my skills throughout either individual practice or high school art classes, and I've also been interested in realism since basically middle school. Today I will be showing you how to draw an accurate eye with these simple steps. Today I'll be showing you how to draw an eye similar to this with the techniques I've learned. To start off, I always start with the inner corner of the eye. That's kind of the base, I would say, of the eye. So I just start there and then I round it off. And you can round it off however you like because every eye shape is different. So, if you need to look at a photograph to figure out what the inner corner of the eye looks like, feel free to do that because it's hard to kind of imagine, but yeah, if you need a reference picture, that's totally fine. So once I've gotten the basics of the eye shape, we can start doing the circular motion, or this part of the eye. However, some people's eyes set differently, so it can be like literally in the middle. It just depends on how their lids sit on their eyes. But if you're wondering, if you think it looks a little off, draw a full circle around. Make sure it's like even and it looks right. So once you're satisfied with this circle, we can start with the lid. We can erase this part too. I would say when you're drawing the lid, typically, it really depends because there's so many different ones. As you can see, this one kind of folds over it and this one's not at all. Now with shading, you've probably heard this, you want to do circular motions and do it very lightly, and you can kind of build up your darkness as you go. Now the reason why I'm shading so much on the top part right here is because light usually comes from up here. It's usually not from down here. So it makes sense that, your lid is kind of covering up and it's kind of shading on the bottom part of your upper lid right here. So now I'm going to be doing this circle. And again, if you wanted to do that full circle and see, because you want this in the middle, not like, even if it's up a little bit, you don't want it in the middle right here. You want to put it up a little bit. If you drew it like this. Now the reason why I'm shading on the white part of the eye is because, yes, it is white, but there's going to be just natural shadows there. And it's kind of curved, so the reason why I'm putting it on the inside and like over here is because it's rounded and you want the most light sides where the light would hit most be lighter right here. So an easy trick for blending, I use a brush like this. It's very soft and yeah. So I use this because it's just a lot easier to blend, I feel like, than any other blending tool that I've used. So once you've gotten the inner part of the eye right here done, pretty much you can start with this part. Now to do this part, what you want to do, it's usually darker on this side, on the outer part of this. So the best way as beginners to draw an eye, I would start doing these triangle. They're kind of random. They don't have to be straight. They're usually actually not straight, so. And this is just getting a good shading of this for starting off. This is the middle of the iris right here. And there's lines from the outer part just reaching towards it. Well, they're more like swoops like that. So do that all around. And as you could see, while I was doing that, I was stopping around this perimeter pretty much. And that's just to keep the shape there. So, and now what you want to do is actually shade. Just kind of do a few lines like that around where your triangles met closest to the iris. Okay, so now what you're gonna want to do is, so where the triangle was furthest away from the iris, you're gonna do the same thing but going inwards. So once you've got that, I think it's time to start blending. I use this blending tool, and I feel like even though, you know, with skin I usually use the brush, but I feel like with this, it's just, it doesn't have to be very smooth because it's just the inner part of your eye. Before things get any darker, I am going to be erasing a little bit for the highlight, which I'll probably be putting it right here. I like to kind of round it off like this, and that kind of gives me the shape of this too. And now I'm just going to be filling in the rest of it. So now what I'm going to be doing is just shading a little bit more on the outer part of the eye, just to give it more dimension, because like I said, this part is usually the darkest. I'm going to show you over here what kind of shape I'm doing, because it's not just lines how I draw it, it's more like this. So yeah, that's what I'm doing in here. So once you've done that, what I like to do is take a little kneaded eraser and get it kind of to a point. And you're just gonna take that, and for the V's, what we did, you're gonna do the outer part of that, just to highlight them. So now that we got all that done, we are gonna start with the outer part of the eye. So I'm gonna start building up shading around my lids. And for shading, it's pretty simple. You just wanna darken up the crease of the lid and just all around it, like the bottom and a little bit of the top. Also with shading, because this is the skin now, you want to shade like in the direction of the lid, because it kind of resembles like actual skin. Now right here is usually a lighter part of the eye, so you kind of want to round that off. And over here you're going to start to see more like wrinkles and under eye bags. So to do that, it's kind of, you just follow the shape, but as you get further, it kind of droops down. So now for the eyelashes, what I like to do, well, instead of drawing, because I see like a lot of beginners, they, you know, draw them straight out, but actually, on an eye, they more swoop. They don't go straight up, so. And also doing random places where you put them will also help make it look more real. And also in the middle, you're gonna find these ones that go kind of straight up because you can't really see. I mean, they still go from here, but yeah. And then once you get further and further into the inner corner, they're going to be swooping, and they're going to be a lot thinner and shorter. And also what I've realized about eyelashes is that a lot of them, especially if it's a girl wearing mascara, they kind of group together. So what I'm saying is, you got that some of them will kind of almost adhere to the other. So it's like, they just go together. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go in. At this point, all you have to do is just look and see if you need to add something that you don't like about it, and just see where that takes you. You know, if you need to step back and take a look at it from a different angle, that's fine. So after drawing the inner corner shape of the eye and shading in and around the eye, you should be able now to sketch an improved version of what you once had. I hope you took something from this video, and good luck. Also, hopefully now you are the one who is asked how you draw an eye so realistically.